What is up, everybody? It is me, Supercard Copter, and welcome to the very first episode of, maybe we'll go with Super Jump from the Top Rope podcast. It'll still be a title in progress. I'm not too sure, but as you know, I normally do on-cam video, but I need to pretty much update that so I can make it look a lot better, a lot more professional. But I wanted to go ahead and start getting these up and running just because we have Survivor Series coming up, and wrestling is just kind of good right now. So there's lots to talk about. Last night was Monday Night Raw. If you're watching this now, tonight we have SmackDown, which that SmackDown video will be out tomorrow. Real quick, as far as Supercard, it's pretty much just going to be me playing in the background because there's really nothing to kind of report on. Tomorrow is the day that Season 3 comes out. I've watched some videos, which I'll put in the description below. JB Super Oh My God Barbecue. He did a really good few videos on the different modes, the characters, etc. So you can find his link in the description below. He was actually able to fly up to Seattle and kind of play it before anyone else could. Him and a couple other YouTubers. So yeah, it's been really great. As you can see, Supercar will be taking an extended maintenance break on 11/16 at 7 a.m. Pacific to prep for the Season 3 update. Will take several hours. So basically, get your playing done today because you probably won't play much tomorrow until the update comes out, which we all know how Cat Daddy works. So that means there's going to be lots of problems tomorrow, probably a lot of network issues and things like that. But some good news with the new season coming out is that you are eligible to use all of your card catalog's images, including Season 1. The only thing you can't do is switch Season 1 images, just because those cards weren't made to do that. So I originally thought you couldn't use any of Season 1's because of that reason, but that has been squashed. And yeah, so as of right now, like I told y'all before, I'm waiting to basically train up all these people. You got Mr. Chris Jericho, the OP Chris Jericho. He's at 0 stats, and yeah, all his stuff is ready to go, but he's still OP, man. Because this is like he's at level 2, but yeah. Just kind of show you just how OP he is. So the new, the new SummerSlam Fusion should be on par to the Flash event cards. So here we go. This is Chris Jericho. This is Biggie Dude, or not Biggie Dude. This is Big E, and he is fully leveled up as well. But check this out. So Big E's highest stat is his power, which is at 6,022. Chris Jericho's highest stat is 6,372. That beats a lot of WrestleMania cards, like the Fusion ones. Or not the Fusion ones, the event ones. Big E's next highest stat is his toughness, 5,945. Chris Jericho's is 6,295. He doesn't have anything less than 5,800 or 5,900, and Biggie does. So yeah, this dude is going to be OP. He's probably the most powerful SummerSlam card that you can get. He definitely outbeats his original Chris Jericho card by a lot. I'm pretty sure when I checked it, each stat was like 200 more than this Chris Jericho. So yeah, either way, their images are still awesome. Currently working on Randy, so that's probably who I'm just gonna kind of play and train. So you'll see me lose a lot just because it's all part of the game whenever you are training, especially if you kind of have your deck kind of dumped down a bit. Um, I'll go ahead and show you. So pretty much the only time I call out Randy is if it's a 2-statter or if I already won 2. Then even if it's a 1-stat, I'll throw him out. So Chris Jericho wins that one. We'll go ahead and throw these out. Normally this is a win, which it looks like it's going to be. There's that. So I've already won 2, so I'm going to go ahead and throw Randy just to get that extra, pretty much that extra little, I guess it'd be point for his stat point. But normally the only time I'd really call him out is if it's a 2-statter. Just because, I mean, 2's going to be more beneficial than 1. And I'm really not too worried about losing matches because at this point, wins and losses really don't matter at all. So normally if they already have a card this big, it's a 50-50 chance that I'm going to win because that usually means they have sucky cards. Which obviously he doesn't, so I'm definitely going to lose this. So because I already lost 2, I'm probably going to throw in Randy, which I probably would have anyways because it's a 2-statter. So yeah. So that's pretty much what I'm going to be doing in the background. So feel free to watch or just listen. So again, this is going to be a podcast that pretty much discusses everything that happens. You can kind of get my opinion on things, stuff like that. So let's go ahead and start. So Raw started out with having all the superstars, the elite superstars, as they call it, come out, and they basically, Stephanie McMahon told them, like, hey, if y'all suck, there's going to be consequences. Tonight, y'all are all going to be in matches, paired. Y'all don't do good together, there'll be consequences, yada yada yada. And you know, one thing that's pretty funny is every pay-per-view they say is a pay-per-view exclusive to the network. At this point, can you still buy the pay-per-views? Like, does that even need to be said anymore? Because I'm pretty sure it kind of is just the network. I mean, if anybody's still paying $50-$60 for a pay-per-view, like, they're, as what Chris Jericho would call, a stupid idiot. So they all get in the ring and whatnot. And what's funny is Mick Foley says, like, who best in the Shield. Like, they're going to figure out who was the best member in the Shield, which is kind of... Like, why would you say that? Because even if that's the case, are you planning on Seth and Roman to fight each other? Because there's only one other Shield member on the other team. So you're not going to find out who the best Shield member was because you already have 2 on the same team. So I didn't really get that, but whatever. It's all good. I'm excited for the Survivor match. They've done a great job making Survivor Series actually... it kind of has me, like, waiting for it. Like, I cannot wait to see it. As far as the card goes, of course there's a couple matches I care less about, but it almost reminds me, which I know it gets a lot of flack, whenever it was Team WWF versus Team WCW/ECW. I was fortunate enough to grow up during the Attitude Era, and that's when I was really into it. So seeing those two companies clash against each other, regardless of how shitty it was, because, I mean, they could have done way better planning it and all that. It still was awesome to see, and I like the fact that Shane's kind of the wild card. He was last in there, because I like Shane. I mean, granted, he's not the best wrestler. He's not the, like, craziest, but he's still up there. I mean, he performs, and I like the fact that he likes to perform, so that makes me excited to see. So, and because he was part of Team WCW/ECW back in the day, it's pretty cool to see him back. So the first match, we have KO and Roman Reigns versus Cesaro and Sheamus. What's funny is they're like, that match starts now. But when we get back from the commercial break, Sheamus and Cesaro are already out there, and Kevin Owens is walking down the ramp to his theme music. It's like, did they say, hey, it starts now, but go in the back and we'll introduce y'all again. And then Roman comes out again. It's like, why even do that? Normally, when they say that match starts now, after commercial break, we have them already starting the match. So it was kind of whatever. If you did notice a couple weeks ago, Roman, he's starting to do this thing where he will pretty much throw the belt over his shoulder and just kind of hold on to it like a bag, which I get it. Like, it's disrespectful to the belt, or making it seem like the belt isn't as important. I don't know why Roman does it. I don't know if he just thinks it looks cool or what, but I mean, it doesn't bug me as much as it bugs some people and some like wrestling enthusiasts. But I get it. I get why they consider it disrespectful. I thought it was funny that Mick Foley turned it around for him, and he told him something like, I wonder if that was sketched or if that was actually him being like, dude, come on, like, show some respect to the belt. But Roman still does it, so I guess that's kind of Roman's way of saying, like, I could care less type thing, which, hey, whatever. Kevin Owens and Roman, it's a pretty decent match. It's like interesting. Of course they win. I mean, Cesaro and Sheamus aren't gonna win. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I have on that match. I mean, it wasn't anything like crazy special. But yeah, so there's that one. It goes into a skit with Jericho, Rollins, and Braun Strowman, which, you know, Braun's actually starting to grow on me a little bit. I always thought he looked crazy. You know, my ideal scenario would be, which I know they're never going to do it, just because I know Brock would never do it, but just have a scenario where, let's say, Brock is like, he just wins a matchup, and then Braun comes out and like confronts him, and you have just these two Goliaths going back to back. Or let's say Braun goes back to where he's just whooping everybody and he's like, Foley, I want more competition, or I'm done here, etc. Something of that nature. And then out of nowhere, you hear Brock's music just hit, and he comes out, and Paul Heyman's just like, you know, you want some more competition? Well, my beast is hungry, and he's already wiped out the whole locker room. He's starting to get tired of you claiming you're the biggest, baddest dude. He's ready to see what you're made of, which, that would be awesome. It'd be awesome to see Brock suplex the crap out of him. It'd be awesome to kind of see Brock not manhandle him, because I don't think they would make him manhandle Braun Strowman. But I just don't see Brock agreeing to losing to Braun Strowman, which that would kill his character, because Brock would win, and then it would just be one of those like, well, just another one for Brock. I don't see Brock losing anytime soon until he's ready to go. I think as of any person on the roster right now that's actually able to beat him, I feel like it's going to be Goldberg. Now, that's only if Brock feels like, all right, I'm done with this. I really don't care to be here anymore. I'm cashing out. Deuces, I'm out of here. Then Goldberg will get the win. But if Brock's planning on staying, I just don't see him losing to anybody currently on the roster. Who knows? They like to throw a wild card sometimes, you know? So we'll see how it goes. But anyways, back to the skit. It's pretty awesome. Jericho's just the man right now. I mean, his charisma, the things he says, the things he can get over, like this whole list thing, that's freaking amazing. I know he's done it way back in the day, but now it's just 10 times better. I mean, you have the crowd getting excited for him, ready to put something on the list, and then by him not doing that, you hear the crowd boo. Like, if they just got something stolen from them. I mean, it's a freaking list, but it's so great. So great. We'll talk about it more later, but the fact that they could keep straight faces, especially Braun Strowman, like it's weird to see him out of character, which I've heard him on the Stone Cold podcast before, which, I mean, he seems like a pretty cool dude. And then I think it was Bailey that tweeted out a picture, and it was Braun Strowman in the background just like doing like a play around face because she was taking a picture with him and someone else. I forgot who the other person was, but it's just cool to see him out of character. And with Jericho and them, I mean, the whole scarf thing, it was hilarious. I laughed. I LOL'd. That's for damn sure. But he buys Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman. He gets some gifts. And turns out they're scarves. And Jericho's already wearing this white scarf. And Seth Rollins, I mean, he makes a stupid joke about the whole, if I wanted just like you, I'd raid Lady Gaga's closet. Hardy har har, funny funny. Lady Gaga really doesn't even dress weird anymore. But whatever, cool. I get it. So Seth leaves, he's like, whatever. And then Braun doesn't even open his. And Chris Jericho's like, hey man, that's cool. Seth can miss out. We'll wear our scarves. And he takes it out, and it's a little blue anchor one. And Braun says, I want that scarf. Now that is hilarious because of the fact that Braun is just this badass beast who is serious all the freaking time. Yet he wants Chris Jericho's scarves. Chris Jericho says this is a $700 scarf, yada yada yada. He says, I want that scarf. So he gives it to him. They switch scarves, and then Braun tears it. And man, I don't get how Braun did not just laugh. It kind of looked like it was itching on coming, but he kept his cool, and man, it was great. Braun's character is coming along great. I feel like he's winning over fans. And yeah, he's just not like another giant right now, like most are. I mean, you have Big Show, he'll come in, he'll punch people, and then he just walks around slow. Braun's actually doing pretty good. It hasn't been too bad. So then we have the Bo Dallas versus Sami Zayn. You know, I don't know. I never cared for Bo. Especially not right now with this whole, like, oh, I'm mad mentality. He's starting to kind of grow some facial hair, which, I mean, he is Bray Wyatt's brother. It would be, I mean, maybe he's growing it out to where he can join him, you know, just kind of, believe in the buzzards. That could be the new tagline, you know? Bo for brothers, you know? Sammy wins easily, so Sammy's going on to face either Dolph Ziggler or The Miz for the Intercontinental Championship at Survivor Series, and whoever wins, they get to keep the belt. So if Sammy wins, he brings it to Raw. If Dolph or Miz, whoever's champion at that time wins, gets to keep it. But I like that. It's pretty cool that they're doing that, kind of like the cross thing. Some people are saying maybe Sammy may be switching, jumping ship. We don't know the stipulations on what happens if each team wins, or whatever team wins, like what the stipulations are. Because, I mean, I seriously doubt it's just going to be like, oh, well, we have bragging rights. Like, I mean, I've heard some things about they may be able to switch picks. They may be able to draft a certain amount of superstars from the opposing team, etc. But I just don't know where they're going to go with that. So, he's talking about the other stipulation where Brian Kendrick is facing Kalisto. He brings the whole cruiserweight division over to SmackDown. There's different ways that this can go because of how they've made Brian Kendrick work for the belt. I don't see him dropping. Getting revenge out on crap, what's his name? Oh my god, my brain just went off. Corbin. Yeah, I think that's his name. Yeah, Corbin. I can't think of his first name, but whatever. You know who I'm talking about. So I mean, Kalisto would be an awesome cruiserweight champion. Even though there's other people that I like in the cruiserweight, just not a fan. I mean, I know that's gonna upset a lot of people, but as of right now, I'm just not a fan. But I'm sure they'll grow. I know a lot of it has to do with WWE because they don't let them perform like to their best of their abilities, just because they're more on the safe side versus the quality side. But either way, yeah, the match sucked. People were booing, but I'll get to that later. But pretty much Sin Cara gets into it with Brian. Sin Cara's actually been in trouble with WWE a lot lately in real life. Supposedly he has anger issues. I know he threw a Dr. Pepper can. I don't know if it was for or not, but at Simon Gotch's face because of a heated argument. And then recently, him and Chris Jericho got into it on a bus that was transporting the superstars to the venue. And supposedly, Sin Cara was making an obnoxious noise, and they had already told him to stop, but that didn't stop him. And then Chris Jericho kind of like got in his face, and Sin Cara went after him. Supposedly Chris Jericho bit his finger. But yeah, so I don't know. The whole story is kind of weird and dumb, but yeah. So there's been talks that they may punish him and actually send him to SmackDown for a little bit. I mean, I guess that's just to kind of keep him away from Jericho for now. If they did that, I wouldn't mind. I mean, Sin Cara, they had such great plans for him whenever he first dated like a different guy and all this stuff. So, I mean, without him, we're not going to lose any sleep over it. But the next match was the New Day versus Seth, Braun, and Jericho. I really enjoyed this match. One thing that they really did good was they had their elite fighters face essentially jobbers, as you can say. But I mean, this was no jobber match, of course, but it was still one of those where you knew who was going to win. So, but it was still a really good match. A good wrestler, man. Like the way he delivers moves, just the technical part of it, he's awesome. I wish they would really use him a lot more. His sweep just looked perfect. It was awesome. They made Braun Strowman look really, really strong. The way he just like caught Kofi, threw him down, and then just ran over Big E. Like, my God. Like, you just don't do that to Big E. And the fact that he did, and it was like a successful just run over, I mean, that was great. It was really great. And then them working together was really good. They look strong. So, of course, Jericho, Seth, and Braun, they win the match at the something to set. Oh, he's like, I'm the leader, whatever. And at the very end, Seth pretty much pedigrees Jericho. Braun's like, whatever, do whatever you gotta do, doesn't affect me, and then they all leave. So next, or maybe he just doesn't have the same fire as he used to, but his promos have been kind of dull lately. I've always said Paul Heyman's one of the best in the business, which I still feel like he is. It's just his delivery lately has just sucked, and I don't know what the deal is. I don't know if they put like restrictions on what he can say, what he can't say. Maybe they told him like, hey, you need to tone down your stuff or what. But I mean, there were some promos where he was just going off and like you felt the intensity and everything, and now you just really don't. Like, it's almost kind of boring. But But he kind of throws out a promo, getting ready. He's talking to Stephanie and McFoley, which Stephanie makes a fat joke. Paul Heyman pretty much calls her out and says, "Hey, you called me fat." That's cool. So yeah, it was just kind of whatever. Then we get to the Brian Kendrick versus Sin Cara match. It sucked. It was boring. All the moves looked shitty and slow. Even the crowd was booing them. Yeah, it was. They just have no chemistry together, Brian and Sin Cara. It just looked crap. Not but yeah, he wins. Next, we have Brock Lesnar face to face with Goldberg. They have some security dudes in the middle. You know, a lot of these, like, security getting involved, stuff like that. None of it just seems real. Like, you see it, and you see these guys, and they look like jokes. I mean, they legit look like jokes. They don't look like normal security people, which, granted, whoa, hey, cop dude, they really aren't security. I get that, but, geez, like, at least try to make them look like security. But either way, Paul Heyman's throwing out about his family and how they're going to see Goldberg get whooped in front of his family. Oh, one thing to note, Brock Lesnar botched getting up on that ring, which kind of, I always like to see stuff like that just because I'm wondering like how they're going to play it off. And when they see it happen. And a lot of times I wish the crowd would like laugh or call him out or start cheering like botch, something. But, I mean, it's Brock Lesnar, so I don't blame them for not doing that. So everyone chants Goldberg. Honestly, I feel like Goldberg out-promoed Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman sucked at what he was saying. He kept repeating himself. He kept starting over, which I get it. The crowd was messing him up. That's why he started over. But it's just, like, dude, it gets old after a while. Like, just continue. Like, who cares? Just continue. That's all that really matters at this point. Goldberg did really good, telling Heyman, shut up. Talk about my family one more time. Whatever. Goldberg takes off his shirt, which this is the first time we actually get to see the physique, which he didn't look bad. I mean, he's still in pretty good shape for his age. He definitely wasn't just sitting on the couch eating Twinkies or anything like that. Like, I mean, he still looks in shape, which I feel like within this next week, now it's kind of looks like it's kind of coming back. He's still kind of overdoing things. When he threw some of the guards out, he almost went out the ring himself. So I would say, hey, just kind of chillax, bring it down just a little notch. I mean, you're already powerful. You don't have to oversell anything because we already think you're super powerful. You're Goldberg. I will say Brock kind of looked. I mean, Brock's still a big dude. Don't get me wrong, but he didn't look like the best of in shape. I don't know if it's just because, like, I don't know. Maybe he didn't do push-ups before he went out there, or what. But he just kind of looked. He didn't look like normal Brock, like the Beast. I mean, he's still in shape. By no means am I calling him fat or anything, but I'm just used to seeing him more like ripped and more crazy stuff like that. But whatever. It was all good. Of course, Goldberg empties out the ring. All the guards are gone. And he tells Brock, hey, let's go. Brock looks like he's about to come in. And then he jumps down and he says, nope, on my time. They're really making Brock look like the weaker guy right now. Whoever gets the upper hand before the pay-per-view usually is going to be the loser at the pay-per-view. So if things look the way they look, it looks like Goldberg's going to lose. I feel like he will, unless, like I said, if Brock decides to hang up his boots because he's done, he's ready just to cash out, that's going to be the only way he loses. And then to have a 0-2 against Goldberg, like, I don't know. I don't know. But one thing that Goldberg did say, which I thought was perfect, because that's exactly stuff like that. And Goldberg says, with me, like he's slayed everybody but me, which is true because Goldberg is 1-0 with Brock. So that was a good comeback. It was one that I was thinking in my head because I was like, hey, you could easily say this, and then he said it, so I was like, hey, beautiful. Hands off to ya. So that was really good. Again, just Heyman, man. He's just not selling anything really well. So whatever. Next we have women's tag team match. It's Charlotte and Sasha versus Alicia Fox and Nia Jax. You know what's funny? Like Nia's pictures she has a lot of pictures of her smiling. But when it comes to, it's like she has no happiness in her heart because she just wants to smiling away. So it's just kind of weird. Like, just keep it all on the same page. Just have her not smile. Look strong still in the match because I was kind of wondering how that was going to go. Charlotte, she starts off with she's seeing Nia Jax come in and she's like kind of like, nope, I don't want to fight you. Sasha doesn't let her get the tag. Then they all both go after her, and I don't think they're gonna make Nia eat a pin, especially at Survivor Series. I feel like they're going to either make her win so they can protect her, because I mean right now she's supposed to be looking like the Beast, or she gets counted out, where they just double team the crap out of her, and then finally she gets counted out, and there's really nothing they can do as she gets eliminated. I truly think the women of Raw will beat the women of SmackDown. It's just kind of a toss-up because you have Charlotte, you have Sasha, you have Bayley, Alicia Fox. I don't understand why she's still around. Like, they have not built her character at all. Yeah, she used to be a Divas champion, but she was technically just kind of a jobber and then just the side chick to the Bellas. Which even then, she was the one that really like lost for the Bellas a lot of the times. So I just don't get what they're trying to do with her. You know, I don't think there's anyone else. So, I mean, I guess it's kind of all they really have. But yeah, like Nia Jax makes sense. But with that being said, SmackDown's chicks are all on a roll right now. You have Becky Lynch, who's the champion, which is funny because she's not the captain. What's her face? Natalia is. Then you have Nikki Bella, who's already elite. Carmella and not Alicia Fox. Alexa Bliss. Both of them are on top right now. Carmella's a good heel. Alexa Bliss is a good ass heel. She's super hot. Which their weakest link is probably going to be Naomi, probably. And Naomi's actually she's pretty strong too. So I can kind of see SmackDown women winning the women's title. Or not the women's title, but the women's match. I don't know, man. I just feel like Charlotte, Sasha, Bayley. I just feel like with them three outweighs the popularity of Team SmackDown. Even though wins, just because Alicia Fox really lowers the team's level down, and Nia Jax. I mean, yeah, she's up there, but they haven't really like shown her until just recently again. But either way, that could go either way. I feel like the tag match though, that one will definitely be Team SmackDown. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Team SmackDown for that one. They just have too many high hitters right now, such as like uh, what is it? Team Alpha and all of them. So I don't know. We'll do predictions at the end. So we have I guess it's a 8-man tag match. You have Enzo, Cass, Gallows, Anderson versus the Golden Truth and the Shining Star. Of course, they get whooped. Gallows tells Enzo it almost looks for a split second at the end that they're going to work together, and they want him to do the little Enzo jump or whatever, the Enzo smash, whatever they call it. And then they basically say, like, you really think we're going to let you do that? And then they pick up the win. So, overall, wasn't, a bad match. It was just kind of jobbers taking their loss. So, it was entertaining, but meh at the end of the day. Then we have Raw confronts SmackDown. It starts off well. The whole Stephanie and McFoley thing, kind of doing whatever. Foley, him trying to act like the guy who's like, haha, like, we got you. It's kind of old, but I get it, whatever. So they bring Team Raw out, and they're like, oh, what sucks? And of course, everyone wants it. Down comes out, which is really cool because this answers a lot of questions. Well, it kind of does. Like, how is Bray gonna interact with Braun Strowman? Or was it gonna just be something where they just kind of leave that alone? Just different stuff like that. AJ's just awesome. I mean, he doesn't need your cheers, and he definitely doesn't need your boos. I love his accent. It's really, I feel like it's coming out more and more as the weeks go on. And, I mean, his cuts downs are kind of whack, like the whole sugar tit, talking to Kevin Owens, saying, like, all you're doing is stuck on Chris Jericho's sugar tit. Alright, haha, funny. But Jericho is just amazing, because not only that, he gets everyone behind him immediately because he puts them on the list not once, not twice. The fact that they brought James Ellsworth is amazing in itself too. Chris Jericho calling him out was amazing. He pretty much told him, we have a lost child over here. He calls him Chintz McMahon, which is just great. It's great. Like, oh man, Chris Jericho is God right now. They moves, and what's funny is, man, I don't know when they're gonna pull the trigger with Bray, because Bray is so good at being Bray. He's so good, and he should be on a way other level. But man, do they just kill his character down in matches over and over and over. I think he's like, I don't even think, actually, the only pay-per-view that he won with John Cena, I believe. But yeah. Let me see. Let me look it up real quick. Okay, yeah, I can't find it. I'm pretty sure was whenever he had the little kids come up, and yeah. So they're all doing their moves towards the end, and then Bray's about to hit his because everyone's already landed theirs, and of course it gets broken up. And he doesn't successfully land it on Roman. Roman does a Superman punch to him, and Team Raw just looks like on top of the world right now. I was really, really hoping James Ellsworth would come in and try his no chin music, but he was nowhere to be found. So overall, Raw was good. It was entertaining. I liked it. It was a good show. Are trying to go after him and whatnot, so I can answer some of your questions. So eventually, just let me know what you think. And if you have any questions for me, go ahead and shoot them down in the comment section below. And yeah, so until next time with this last win, see if I pull anything amazing. I will see y'all tomorrow for SmackDown Live. If you like this, let me know. Of course, there's going to be more changes coming in, like the screen. We'll have some music, stuff like that. All it is an Eve, so it's nothing special. So thank you for joining me. I am Copter. Hope you enjoyed this. Tomorrow will be SmackDown's little mini podcast, and hopefully with season 3 up on the screen, and we can kind of get into that too. So until next time, thanks for joining me. Leave a thumbs up on that video right here, and